Addiction is a disease of hopelessness. Hopelessness in the individual, in the family, in the community.
Addiction is not a weakness, it's an illness. It's a mental disease, it's a spiritual disease, it's a physical allergy.
Alcohol will kill you, drugs will kill you. And that's why we have to step in. That's why we have to be here for those folks that need us.
Shame poured out of my pores. Embarrassment as to who I was and what I had become in life. I felt like a loser.
I was a very angry, hostile street kid.
I was getting arrested, going to jail, having vehicle accidents, motorcycle accidents.
I got a letter from the courts that I had to go to court for my parental rights to be taken from me.
Was desperate, had nowhere to go.
I started shooting heroin when I was 18.
I had nothing going for me.
I couldn't keep a steady job. I just felt worthless.
I was a crack addict for 8 years. I was a functional addict, and I would go to work and get high in the bathroom. So I went from losing many jobs to having no job to getting evicted. I'd sold my kids' Christmas toys and then rebought them when I got my check every 2 weeks from welfare, and then I sold them again. I didn't see the dysfunction at all. I didn't see how I looked and what I've become. I lost a lot of weight. I was down to like 93 pounds. And that's when I started taking notice to myself. And I think that's when I started saying that I don't want to do this anymore.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that it's always the poor people or the less fortunate segments of our society. And I can assure you that we have in treatment in Gaudenzia, we have judges, lawyers, rich people, not so rich people.
It kills people young and old. It really doesn't matter. And it affects our community, affects the fabric of our culture. But you got to spend the time and effort. You can't, there's no magic.
Treatment works. When you get the proper treatment for the proper length of time, it's highly, highly successful.
Gaudenzia means the joy of life in Old Latin. For many of the people that come to us, Gaudenzia means hope. It means learning a new way of life, where joy is part of that life, and joy without drugs is attainable. Our mission is to help people regardless of their resources, regardless of their ability to pay, regardless of their socioeconomic background. We provide residential therapeutic communities specifically for women and children, for people with co-occurring disorders, for people in the criminal justice system, for young adults. We have a program for 18 to 24-year-old heroin addicts, which is one of the fastest growing populations. For adolescents, HIV, these are all residential programs. We have the same programs outpatient. And then we have housing programs where people live in drug-free housing. We're pretty diverse. And what we try to do is provide continuums of care and not just one program. So when people come to us for help, they may end up in 2 or 3 different programs.
And in order to make that difference in the lives of the people that we serve, we need to provide our employees with the best possible knowledge, education, credentials.
We provide professional development for our staff, as evidenced by Eastern University partnership with Gaudenzia.
The Gaudenzia Training Institute, it provides state-honored education to treatment professionals. It also empowers them.
Our innovations come from necessity, are mission-driven.
Addiction is a family disease, period. You gotta treat the whole family. For women specifically, one of the barriers years ago in treatment was women were afraid for their children.
Advantage was actually the first program in the United States established specifically for women and women with their children. And it is the national model for women and children's services.
I needed a place that took children. So they transferred me to Vantage. And I knew that my boys would be with me, I knew that. Throughout our stay there, I learned life skills again, which was good for me. And I'm not saying that I never had them, but they got lost somewhere. My boys, they needed stability and they needed structure as well. The child care specialist took them on field trips, helped with homework, did arts and crafts, and it did help them grow up.
The program changed my mom, and seeing her, fight through her addiction and just growing as a adult and an individual, that's what I get up for every day.
I built this house with Habitat for Humanity, my boys and I, and we've been here since 2000. And now I work where I started from. I work at Vantage. I work where I started out at. The reward to give hope to other women who think that there is no hope. Honest to goodness, it is nothing like it.
Treatment absolutely works, and I'm here as a living witness. I stand in testimony that treatment works, and a person given the right tools to learn how to deal with their life, to learn how to deal with their addiction, can absolutely turn that addiction around and become a person who has recovered and then become a contributing member of society once again.
We could use everybody's help. There's no two ways about that. The most obvious way is through donations and support, financial support. But we have community groups in all our regions, all our locations. There's a tremendous need for volunteers, people who can help other folks learn basic life skills, help them find employment, give them the mentoring that they need to make themselves more productive citizens.
My eyes have been wet with the tears of children in their classrooms for classmates who were killed in the course of this deeply tragic drug war that rages not only in our city, but in every city.
Drugs has been very prevalent in our community today, okay? And I think that we as elected officials need to put more money into treatment instead of continuously building prisons.
People are not in treatment. They're costing all of us money all of the time.
To me, it's an investment. Maybe we can look at it financially in the budget of saying $1 invested now saves $12 later on, but to me, $1 invested now saves a life later on.
My life is completely different. It's the way it always should have been.
I learned to love myself here, and this is the place for me to be.
Oh, I'm very much a part of the Gaudenzia family. I will be forever.
Gaudenzia is my home.
We can help people overcome tremendous obstacles, and that it doesn't just affect one person, it affects whole communities and whole families and multiple generations. That it's as important as I thought it was. It shows me that, and it does work, and it can happen.
We are here because there's no refuge finally from ourselves. Until people confront themselves in the eyes and hearts of others, they are running. In this ground, we can each take root and grow, not alone anymore.
Not alone anymore as in death, but alive to ourselves and to others.